Assalamu alaikum and hello everyone. My name is Maria Rashdi and I'm so excited to be here today. This is the first episode of Let's Talk About It, powered by Shan Shares.
Today I have with me Rabia Aziz.
She is a force to reckon with. She is an accomplished mother. She is a professional. She is a clinical trauma specialist. She is the founder of Special Needs Pakistan. She is a therapist and a life coach. And we have her with us today to talk about something that is so very pertinent and distressing in our society and something that we don't talk about. So, which is why we're here with Rabia to talk about it.
Thank you so much. I'm humbled to be here, and thank you for inviting me.
So I think that, I was just reminiscing back when I did my thesis, I did an anti-stigma campaign for mental health. And, the concept of mental health is so confusing to most people, especially in our society. So can you tell me what, in your opinion, is mental health, or as per your journey?
So that's a really good question, because we don't address and we don't talk about mental health since it is so stigmatized. And mental health hoti kya hai? What is mental health? Mental health is your physical, psychosocial, social, emotional and behavioral well-being. And जब हम बात करते हैं about what distresses us, या what brings about change in our behaviors, या what is something that makes us feel anxious, can we perform our daily functions? We are attending different roles in our lives. Are we fulfilling those roles? Are we fulfilling those roles to our capacity, or are we getting challenged? So mental health, जिसे हम उर्दू में कहेंगे आपकी नफ्सियाती, जज्बाती, रूहानी, it's all of it put together. And the more जितना हम इसके ऊपर फोकस करें, उतना हम अपनी वेलबींग और अपने इर्द गिर्द की चीज़ों पे अवेयरनेस क्रिएट कर सकते हैं. So yeah.
Okay, and what are some of the reasons, and just for everyone's knowledge, like when do you feel that you need to seek help?
And so that's another very, very good question, क्योंकि again हमारे माशरे में it's thought कि until and unless you're going through a disorder or an illness, then you seek therapy, as opposed to you can seek therapy at any point in your life. It's like going in, जब हमें नज़ला ज़ुकाम होता है तो हम 1-2 टैबलेट खा लेते हैं, सेल्फ मेडिकेट करते हैं अपने आप को. But if we feel unwell and we choose and find out why we are feeling unwell, that is when we can actually go and find out कि ठीक है, I'm feeling upset since a couple of days. I've not been feeling myself. That is when we know, okay, maybe I could use some intervention. Maybe I could use somebody else to talk to. And that could just be one conversation. And you would come out thinking, okay, I really needed that. I really needed to empty myself to feel more like myself right now.
And there are a lot of, I think, preconceived notions or myths about getting counseling or going for therapy. And I've heard this because I did some research during my thesis, like I mentioned, कि इस पे तो जिन चढ़ गया है, but a lot of people also feel like the journey of therapy is a long one. Is that true?
The thing is that if you are experiencing a disorder, or if you're experiencing anxiety which is not in your control, you feel that it is not being looked after or catered to. So the length of how long you're in therapy is absolutely up to you. Nobody else decides for you how long you want to stay in therapy. Some people these days, post-COVID, बहुत सारे लोग as a lifestyle उसको use करते हैं, because they like that discipline and consistency of being connected so closely with themselves. When you go into seek counseling, some sessions are very short, and there's also a myth. You use the word myth. The myth is, am I safe? Is my stuff safe? Is it confidential? Will he or she judge me? And the whole premise of counseling or therapy is that there's 100% genuineness, there's 100% confidentiality, there's no judgment whatsoever, and all your material and you yourself remain safe in that environment.
That is really valid and important information to share. Thank you so much, Rabia. So now that we know the importance of therapy and counseling in our daily lives, I wanted to take it into the work environment. So what is the importance of seeking help or therapy while at work or counseling?
So, and this is again a personal thing which is coming in. Rewind about 2 years back, 2020, when COVID hit us. उससे पहले फिर भी वर्क स्पेसेस में mental health was not being taken as an initiative or as something to care about. But COVID really struck us with something, and I think one of the most important things it did is bring mental health to the forefront. People had to organize homes, people had to stay at home, people had to work from home, and these are the same people who had spent their lives or some fair bit of their time organizing how to be out of their homes. And now when everybody is back in their homes, there's so much of distress. We'd seen domestic violence go up, we'd seen abuse go up, trauma was over the people, there was so much loss and grief. Now the same people are coming back into the workforce 2 years on with that loss, with that grief, with the trauma, with the PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So there's immense stress, there's immense anxiety, and I think workforce started recognizing that mental health now needs to come in a big way into workforce, where they are able to facilitate their employees, their staff, with that kind of care where their anxiety, their limitations, their challenges can be addressed, So perhaps at one point in time जहाँ पे retreats होती थी, अब people need an outlet. Employees need or want rather, they may come up and they may share with their manager or their reporting to person, and they say, okay, I cannot take the stress, I cannot take the financial inflation which our country is going through, नहीं हो रहा. And यहाँ पे लोग क्या कहेंगे कि स्टिग्मा से I think अब हम आगे की तरफ मूव हो रहे हैं. So वो स्टिग्मा के I need to be functional, I need to be physically aware and emotionally all right for myself to exist in the workplace also. And that is where workplace initiatives need to now come into place.
I think that is really interesting to know, and it's really nice to see that we've actually, like you were just saying, that we've moved past that counseling or therapy being something that is shameful in our society. So workforce may, and like you mentioned, sadly the domestic abuse went up, etc. When the workforce returned to the work environment, there was of course women as well, and most of them are working mothers, if not, most of them, right? So how was, in your opinion and journey, how did you deal with working mothers and their stress as opposed to like a man in the workplace?
And ये आदमी औरत का एक जो इक्विलिब्रियम है, एक जो झटका है, जेंडर डिस्पैरिटी है, ये तो आई थिंक चलता रहेगा. बिकॉज जैसे हमारे माशरे में चल रहा है, जैसे हमारी कम्युनिटीज़ रन करती हैं, लाइक यू सेड, mommy stress, right? More and more women have stepped out of their homes to work. Not कि पहले नहीं काम कर रही थी, but now again after COVID everybody needs to work, right? So more and more moms who are coming, वो सब कुछ अपना घर से सारा काम करके आ रही हैं. वो खाना भी पका रही हैं, बच्चों को भी देख रही हैं, पढ़ाई भी करवा रही हैं. I mean, you and I, Arya, we look after our kids, we go to work, we look after our families. हम लोग सब कुछ करते हैं, लेकिन that takes a big toll on us. So who's looking after us? तो ये एक बहुत बड़ा सवाल है उस औरत के लिए जो इस वक्त अपने क्यूबिकल में बैठी हुई है और हमें सुन रही है, क्योंकि वो अपने आप से कितनी दफ़ा दिन में पूछती है कि मेरा ख्याल कौन रख रहा है। एंड जब आपके पास इतनी एम्पावरमेंट होगी, इतनी नॉलेज होगी, इतनी साइको सोशल एजुकेशन होगी कि आप अपना ख्याल खुद रख सकें, यू आर एबल टू identify, and that is the first thing, Maria, being able to identify. And you know, इधर मैं male and female में वो difference नहीं करूँगी, but since we are just talking about mummies, identifying कि आप कहाँ पे ट्रिगर हो रहे हो, आपके बिहेवियर पैटर्न्स, क्या आप काम का स्ट्रेस घर लेके जा रहे हो, घर का स्ट्रेस काम पे लेके जा रहे हो, क्या आप अपने आप को रेगुलेट कर सक रहे हो। एंड रेगुलेशन का मतलब होता है कि एक मोमेंट में जब आपको बहुत ज़्यादा गुस्सा चढ़ रहा है या आप ओवरवेल्म हो रहे हो या बहुत ज़्यादा सैडनेस फील हो रही है, तो क्या आप अपने आप को विदिन 5 या विदिन 10 सेकेंड्स ओके, let me deal with it. Can you regulate yourself? And if you are unable to, then you need to look into, are you caring for yourself? How much time you're spending with yourself? Do you have a support system? आपकी मदद कौन कर रहा है, या आप you're giving in too much and you're trying to do too much. So these are some of the things that women can identify. In terms of how can you work around the mummy stress, right, is give yourself time out. अगर बहुत टू ओवरवेलमिंग हो रहा है या बहुत ज़्यादा इरिटेशन हो रही है या बहुत ज़्यादा आपको बिहेवियर पैंग्स दिख रहे हैं या आपको दिख रहा है कि यू आर इंडल्जिंग इन ईटिंग और इंडल्जिंग इन नॉट ईटिंग, दीज आर साइंस एंड सिम्टम्स, उस मोमेंट पे टेक सम टाइम आउट फॉर योरसेल्फ। आप अपने घर के बाहर 2 मिनट घर के बाहर निकले। लेट मी आस्क यू, how many of you find yourself locked up in the bathroom for about 5 to 10 minutes? आप कुछ नहीं कर रही होंगी, लेकिन आप बाथरूम में लॉक्ड अप होंगी for that time out, for that me time, for that alone time. कितनी दफ़ा आप वो चाय का कप बैठ के अकेले पीते हैं? अगर आप चाय नहीं पीती, कितनी दफ़ा आप अपने आप के बारे में पहले सोचती हैं या सोचते हैं? Right? There are some people अब इस environment में who are fulfilling the role of mothers also, क्योंकि अगर माँ नहीं है तो बाप भी माँ का रोल fulfill कर रहा है. And so putting yourself on the top of the pyramid and saying अगर मैं सही हूँ तो सब कुछ सही होगा, घर का पूरा निज़ाम भी सही होगा, because I am the backbone of the house, I am the backbone of the family. So हम हमारे माशरे में, हमारी सोसाइटी में देयर सो मच शेम अराउंड सेल्फ केयर. मैं उसने अपने बारे में कैसे सोच लिया, सो सेल्फिश, माँ है या नहीं, उफ ऐसी माएँ होती हैं, घर पे अकेले छोड़ के जा रही हैं बच्चों को. सो वी आर सच अ शेम ड्रिवन सोसाइटी कि हमसे बर्दाश्त नहीं होता अगर कोई अपने आप के बारे में पहले सोच ले. सो डू थिंक अबाउट योर सेल्फ एंड बीट द स्टिग्मा, बिकॉज लोगों का काम है बातें करना और वो बात करते रहेंगे.
That's excellent. That's excellent. I actually didn't know about the, taking time out if I'm too overwhelmed. Like, I'm going to try that.
Start with a 5-second rule, go to 10 seconds. If you feel कि your body is getting dysregulated या you are getting overtly, आपको सांस नहीं आ रही, because सबसे पहला एक वो साइन होता है कि you are like मुझे सांस नहीं आ रही, I need to get out. Wherever you are standing, wherever, right now, take a moment and count back from 10 to 1 या count to 10. Take 10 breaths and you will notice कि you will come around and center yourself. It only takes 10 breaths.
I think we should all try that.
We can.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so Rabia, you are the founder of Special Needs Pakistan. Can you tell me a little bit about that and like how that started?
So Special Needs Pakistan is a very close networking organization to my heart, क्योंकि Special Needs Pakistan की birth हुई थी with the birth of my daughter Alia, who was born with Apert syndrome, and she was born in 2013. And उस वक्त as a mother, as a woman of resource and a woman of education and a woman of a lot of reach, जब मुझे ये पता चला कि मेरी बेटी के लिए मुझे हर जगह भागना पड़ रहा है, बिकॉज देयर इज़ नो हेल्प एक क्लिनिक से दूसरे क्लिनिक, एक हॉस्पिटल से दूसरे हॉस्पिटल, एक बहुत मुश्किल वक्त था. एंड इट गॉट मी थिंकिंग मारिया कि अगर मेरा ये हाल है तो आई वंडर उस औरत का क्या हाल है जिसके घर में एक बच्चा पैदा हुआ है, जिसको सुनाई नहीं दे रहा, या जिसकी बर्थ पे उसको निक्यू में न्यूनेटल इंटेंसिव केयर यूनिट में डाला गया है. तो वो औरत क्या कर रही है जिसको प्रिस्क्रिप्शन भी पढ़ने के लिए किसी के सहारे की ज़रूरत होगी. सो आई स्टार्टेड ब्लॉगिंग, आई स्टार्टेड मेकिंग वीडियोज़, आई स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग बिकॉज डिसेबिलिटी back in the day 10 साल पहले was also such a hush topic, shameful topic to talk about. And मैंने इर्द गिर्द देखना शुरू करा. मैंने कहा कहाँ हैं वो सारे लोग, कहाँ हैं वो सारे बच्चे, कहाँ हैं वो सारे बड़े जो व्हील चेयर पे हों, जो लाठियों पे हो, जो ब्रेल से पढ़ लिख रहे हों, जो वर्क फोर्स में हों इंक्लूडेड. एंड लिटरली हर जगह देयर वाज सन्नाटा एंड अंधेरा. एंड जब मैंने ब्लॉग करना शुरू करा और बात करनी शुरू करी, एक के बाद एक ख़वातीन एंड फैमिली स्टार्टेड अप्रोचिंग, एंड एक जैसे बड़ा सा घराना बन गया. यू नो, इट बिकेम दिस स्ट्रॉन्ग कम्युनिटी वेयर पीपल स्टार्टेड टॉकिंग अबाउट, आई जस्ट लॉस्ट माई चाइल्ड yesterday and I lost him because he had cerebral palsy or he had MS. So क्योंकि बात नहीं की, क्योंकि वो बाहर नहीं गए, उनको पता ही नहीं था कि और कितने सारे बच्चे हैं. एंड आई एम रियली प्राउड टू से दैट टुडे स्पेशल नीड्स पाकिस्तान इज़ अ नेटवर्क वेयर नॉट जस्ट फैमिलीज एंड इंडिविजुअल्स आर टुगेदर. देयर इज प्रैक्टिशनर्स, देयर इज डॉक्टर्स. पहले तो डॉक्टर देख के कहते थे हम क्यों आए नेटवर्क का पार्ट बने, बट नाउ दे नो व्हाट द नीड इज़. दे नो कि वो माँ जो नई ऑपरेशन थिएटर में से निकली है, जो शायद जिसने नॉर्मल डिलीवरी करी हो या सी सेक्शन से उसके स्टिचेस में वूंड्स हो, ऊजिंग हो, लेकिन वो किस तरह एक बच्चे को ले के घूमती है ताकि उसके बच्चे के लिए कुछ बेनिफिट हो सके. एंड इट्स अ वेरी ट्रॉमेटिक एंड वेरी पेनफुल प्लेस. तो हम उनके लिए किस तरह आसानी कर सकते हैं, उनको किस तरह हम बता सकते हैं कि ये अगले 10 कदम हैं ताकि आपको उस रगड़ से ना गुजरना पड़े और उस रियली टफ प्लेस में ना होना पड़े. मेकिंग इट ईजियर. हल क्या है? And mashallah say we are a very strong network of almost 22,000 families, and we are very supportive of each other.
I mean, I've heard and I've seen that I mean, you guys are, like you mentioned, so close knit, and it's not just within, but you know, you guys support the community as well. There are different things, but I told you guys, she's a force to reckon with.
Just being too kind.
Yeah. No, so I mean, that's excellent, and I think that's the time that we have today. But if you guys have any comments or questions, you want to reach out to Rabia, we're going to tag her in the caption. So you can flood her inbox. She'll give you tips and tricks of how to manage overwhelming situations. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much, and thank you guys. So stay tuned for another episode of Let's Talk About It.